Well, hello and welcome. I am Miss Heard with Miss Heard Song Lyrics Podcast. We are in Season 7. Can you believe it? Season 7, Episode 313. The Miss Heard Song Lyric is, West Virginia, mount your mama, take me home, country roads. And then the correct lyrics is, West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home, country roads. I swear it sounds like he's saying Mount Your Mama, but it is Mountain Mama. And you guessed it. Who are we doing? We're doing John Denver's Take Me Home, Country Roads. Well, hey there, misheard lyric lovers and musical time travelers. Welcome back to our podcast that turns your, wait, what did they just sing? Moments into golden audio adventures. We've got a special one today. Now, believe it or not, the last time we featured a John Denver misheard song lyric was all the way back on October 19, 2022, so almost 3 years ago. That was in Season 4 episode, and what a gem that was. It was the song that we thought they were saying, like a sleepy evil lotion, you fill up my, like a sleep evil lotion, you fill up my senses. Yeah, you heard that right. Instead of like a sleepy blue ocean, you fill up my senses. Somehow someone heard Sleep Evil Lotion, and we loved every we loved every second of it. I can't even talk today. But today, we're heading down a different road, a country road to be exact. It's time to take a deep dive into the most beloved American folk anthems ever written. Take Me Home, Country Roads. You know the one, you've sung it at the top of your lungs on road trips, in karaoke bars, or maybe even during a college football game in West Virginia. But how much do we really know about it and the story behind it? I learned a lot just doing my research. The episode is about way more than just misheard lyrics, though don't worry, we've still got a few of those. We're talking about a song that almost went to Johnny Cash, the Johnny Cash, the Men in Black. A song born in an impromptu jam session after John Denver broke his thumb in a car accident. A song inspired not by West Virginia, but Massachusetts. We'll introduce you to the quirky creative duo who helped bring it to life. Better later into a band that you'll also have heard about, so I'll go into that in a bit. Yeah, and some of the folks who had brought us this song almost titled it Rhododendron. Can you imagine if it's called Rhododendron? Spoiler, it didn't make the final chorus. So we'll track the slow but steady rise of the song up the charts all the way to its first live performance, which ended in a 5-minute standing ovation, and to the present day where it's a state anthem, beloved by others, and some other people have added it in their own song. So whether you're a lifelong John Denver fan, a sucker for a good behind-the-scenes story, or just someone who's actually sung West Virginia Mount Your Mama, this episode's for you. So grab a mug of something cozy or a drink, stiff one if not, or non-alcoholic. It's whatever you feel like. Settle into that passenger seat and let us take you on a lyrical journey down the winding roads of songwriting, state pride, and of course, sweet, sweet misheard lyrics. So, Take Me Home, Country Roads, also simply known as Country Roads, is a song written by Bill Danoff, Taffy Nivert, and John Denver. It was released as a single, performed by John Denver back on April 12, 1971. So we're talking about 54 years ago, people. It peaked at number 2 on Billboard's U.S. Hot 100 singles chart for the week ending August 28, 1971. So ironically, we're hitting August 28th on this taping. So 54 years later that we're talking about this. So this is poetic justice here. The song was a success on its initial release and was certified gold by the RIAA back on August 18th, 1971, and platinum on April 10th, 2017. Interesting. The song became one of John Denver's most popular songs, and it was continued to sell with over 1.8 million digital copies sold in the U.S. Let's talk about John Denver a bit. I know I talked about him way back when, but let's just have a recap. He was born Henry John Dutchendorf, I'm going to just butcher this, Dutchendorf Jr., so he's a junior, born on December 31st, 1943, and sadly died on October 12th, 1997. He was, of course, known professionally as John Denver, known for being an American country and folk singer, songwriter, and then actor, and I'll go in a bit. So he was one of the most popular acoustic artists of the 1970s and one of the best selling artists in the decade. And AllMusic actually called Denver, quote unquote, among the most beloved entertainers of his era. He also recorded and released approximately 300 songs, guys. That's a lot. And of the 300, 200 of which he wrote himself. He released 33 albums and singles that were certified gold and platinum in the U.S., like I said, by the RIAA, with estimated sales of more than 33 million units. He recorded and performed primarily on an acoustic guitar and sang about his joy in nature, his dislike for city life, enthusiasm for music, and relationship trials. His music appeared on a variety of charts, including country music, talking about crossover selling, Billboard Hot 100, and adult contemporary, earning 12 gold and 4 platinum albums with his signature song like this one we're talking about today, Take Me Home, Country Roads, Poems, Prayers and Promises, Annie's Song, Rocky Mountain High, Calypso, Thank God I'm a Country Boy, and Sunshine on My Shoulders. He also appeared in several movies, and I remember this as a young kiddo, and had television specials during the 1970s, 80s, including the 1977 hit Oh God, in which he starred alongside George Burns. And spoiler, I think George Burns plays God. So there you go. Then John Denver continued to record into the 1990s, also focusing on environmental issues as well as lending a vocal support to space exploration, and also testifying in front of Congress to protect censorship in music. And known for his love of Colorado, he actually lived in Aspen for most of his life. In 1974, Denver was named Poet Laureate of the state, and the Colorado State Legislature also adopted Rocky Mountain High as one of its 2 state songs in 2007, and West Virginia did the same for the song we're talking about today, Take Me Home, Country Roads, in 2014. So just about, 11 years ago? He was an avid pilot, and he died at the age of 53 in 1997. My God, he died the same age I am right now, 53, in a single fatality crash while piloting a recently purchased light plane. So what he loved doing, he died doing it, okay? Let's talk about the other songwriters. So the other one was a William Thomas Danoff, born in May 7th, 1946, still with us as of this recording. He is also an American singer-songwriter, known for his song Afternoon Delight. Remember that? Afternoon Delight, woo! Which he wrote and performed as a member of the Starland Vocal Band. So there's a connection now here. And for writing multiple hits for John Denver, including the song we're talking about today. Now, the other singer-songwriter is a Mary Catherine Nivert, but she goes by Taffy, born on October 25th, 1944, also still with us during the time of this taping, is an American singer-songwriter. She is best known for co-writing this song that was, of course, popularized by John Denver, and for also being a part of the Starland Vocal Band. So her and this William Thomas Danoff were part of it, and they were married at some time. They've since divorced. So let me just tap in on who Starland Vocal Band is for some of the youngins that are listening. So they were an American pop band known as Starland Vocal Band, and for their song Afternoon Delight, look it up. I don't want to talk about it, but check it out. And it was one of the best-selling singles back in 1976. The group actually began as Fat City, where husband and wife duo Bill Danoff and Taffy Nivert started. Then, of course, they co-wrote a song called I Guess He'd Rather Be in Colorado. And then, with John Denver, this song we're talking about today, Take Me Home, Country Roads, which became a hit in 1971. And like I said, the rest is history. And in the mid-1970s, Starland Vocal Band was formed and subsequently signed to Denver's label Winsong Records. Starland Vocal Band also included John Carroll, who did keyboards, guitar, and vocals, and Margot Chapman, vocals. Both Carroll and Chapman also became a couple, marrying in 1978. So imagine you have 2 sets of couples on this band, just almost like ABBA. And like ABBA, they all divorced eventually. The group's debut album was titled Starland Vocal Band and included Afternoon Delight. The song was a U.S. #1 hit, and the album also charted. They were nominated for 4 Grammy Awards in 1977 and won Best Arrangement for Voices and Best New Artist. The latter word over the group Boston. I mean, they beat Boston. Can you believe that? The song also reached number 18 on the UK singles chart, and the follow-up album Rearview Mirror did not do as well, with 13 weeks on the Billboard 200 and a peak of number 104. So it's kind of like that was their big hit. So let's talk about the song and when Bill and Taffy put this together. So the inspiration of the title line was because they both were married, were driving along Clopper Road in Montgomery County, Maryland, to a gathering of Nivert's family in thinking of country roads. I started thinking of me growing up in western New England and going all these small roads. Danoff said it didn't take anything to do with Maryland or any place. To Danoff, the lyric quotes, "The radio reminds me of my home far away. In the bridge is quintessential West Virginian," an allusion to where he listened to the program Saturday Night Jamboree, broadcast from Wheeling, West Virginia on WWVA at his home in Springfield, Massachusetts. There's the Massachusetts. During his childhood in 1950s. Danoff was influenced by friend and West Virginian actor Chris Sarandon, former husband of Susan Sarandon, and members of a West Virginia commune who attended Danoff's performances. Of the commune members, Danoff remarked, quote unquote, "They brought their dogs and were a very colorful group of folks," but that is how West Virginia began creeping into the song. While the song was inspired by Danoff's upbringing in Springfield, Massachusetts, he didn't want to write about Massachusetts because he didn't think the word was musical. Starting on December 22nd, 1970, Denver was heading the New York bill at the Cedar Door in Washington, D.C., with Fat City, now called Starlon Vocal Band, opening for him, just as Denver had opened at the same club for them, headlining David Steinberg. After the club's post-Christmas reopening on Tuesday, December 29th, and they say here, cellar doors engagements ran from Tuesday to Sunday. The booking was for 2 weeks. The three returned to the couple's apartment for an impromptu jam. Here it starts the magic. On the way, Denver's left thumb was broken in a collision and was rushed to the emergency room where the thumb was splinted. When they returned to the apartment, Denver said he was worried. You know, when Danoff and Nivert ran through what they had of the song they've been working on for about a month, planning to sell it to Johnny Cash, so there's a Johnny Cash connection, Denver decided he had to have the song, which prompted them to abandon plans for the sale. All three of them, knowing that the verse and the chorus was still missing, they went about finishing it. And then this is how the song was made. Nivert got out an encyclopedia to learn more about West Virginia because youngins, we didn't have the internet, so you had to use an encyclopedia. The first thing she encountered was the rhododendron, the state flower. So she kept trying to work the word rhododendron into the song. Rhododendron was the title that Nivert had written down on the lyric sheet, which they later sent to ASCAP. The three stayed up till 6 a.m., changing words and moving lines around. When they finished the morning of Wednesday, December 30th, 1970, Denver announced that the song had to go on his next album. And ironically, I'm looking at the date because I think he was born originally on December 30th or 31st, so around his birthday, essentially. So I thought that was pretty cool. There's always something, magical about how things work. Yep, he was born on December 31st, so the day before his birthday. So he said, all right, let's put it into my next album. And later that night, during Denver's first set, Denver called his two collaborators back to the spotlight, where he had the trio change their career trajectories, reading the lyrics from a single handheld unfolded piece of paper. And according to Len Jaffe, a Washington, D.C.-based singer-songwriter who attended that show where Denver premiered the song, this resulted in a 5-minute standing ovation. So Denver was like, okay, we're definitely doing this song. The next day, like I said, was Denver's 27th birthday, and they recorded it in New York City in January of 1971. So that was probably his own birthday present right there. Commercially did well, of course. It appeared on the LP Poems, Prayers, and Promises, and was released as a 45 in the spring of 1971. And then original pressings credited the single to John Denver with Fat City at the time. And like I said, it broke nationally in mid-April. It moved up the charts very slowly, but then the single reached #1 on the Record World Pop Singles Chart and the Cashbox Top 100, and #2 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100, topped only by the Bee Gees' How Can You Mend a Broken Heart? Okay, as I said, it hit gold by the RIAA for 1 million copies shipped. Continued to also sell in the digital era, like I said, as of January 2020, so just 5 years ago, way past Denver's passing. The song also sold 1.8 million downloads since it became available digitally. And then Denver's recording of Take Me Home, Country Roads was actually selected by the Library of Congress for preservation in the National Recording Registry in 2023, so just 2 years ago. Did you know that the song also became an anthem of the Brisbane Lions, a professional Australian rules football club, and is sang by the crowd every time Lions player Charlie Cameron kicks a goal? The song was chosen by Cameron to be played in reference to his country roots. Love it. And then, for the young'uns that know more than me, the song was incorporated in Lonely Road by Machine Gun Kelly and Jelly Roll in 2024. It did pretty good. It reached #33 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart dated August 10, 2024, it's about a year ago, giving Denver his first top 40 appearance as a songwriter since the same song's appearance in the medley Forever Country by artists of then, now, and forever peaked at number 21 in 2016. And let's talk about West Virginia. Take Me Home, Country Roads received enthusiastic response from West Virginians. And apparently on November 1st, 2017, the West Virginia Tourism Office announced it had obtained the rights to use Take Me Home, Country Roads in its marketing efforts. Country Roads has become synonymous with West Virginia all over the world, said West Virginia Tourism Commissioner Chelsea Ruby. Quote unquote, it says, it highlights everything we love about our state, scenic beauty, majestic mountains, and a timeless way of life, and most of all, the warmth of a place that feels like home, whether you lived here forever or just coming to visit. The opening phrase of the song, Almost Heaven, became a primary tourism office slogan. Is that cool? I love it. So, it was also beloved so much that the song was played at the funeral for West Virginia Senator Robert Byrd at the state capitol in Charleston, West Virginia on July 2nd, 2010. So there you go. It's not about Mount Your Mama. It's Mountain Mama, and it has a lot of connections to potentially could have gone to Johnny Cash with the band that was Fat City, and then they ended up becoming, what's the name, Starline Vocal Club or whatever, and Starline Vocal Band, that's what they are. And then it became Denver's one of his biggest hits and beloved hits. So if you have any great misheard song lyrics like this, send it to our sites like Instagram, Facebook, or just an email at misheard, MISSHEARD songs @gmail.com. Till then, keep singing those songs wrong. Bye.